I'm only 16 years old, and while I can't vote for another 391 days, I've seen enough to know that our political system desperately needs fixing. And I'd like to talk with you today about where we can start and the important progress we can make before campaign finance reform gets enacted. So when it wants to, our government does a great job conveying to people the information that it thinks is important, like Surgeon General's warnings on the side of cigarette packages, like big speed limit signs on the side of the road, and like the ominous penalty of perjury warnings above the signature line on tax forms. What about the critical and fundamental information about our democracy, like where the people we elect get their funding and who may be influencing their votes? How does the government do with this score? This is a real problem. The amount of money being donated to elections climbs higher and higher each cycle. For the 2014 elections alone, over $1 billion have been donated to Senate and House races. This is crazy. And now, polls have shown that people really are concerned and they do care about the influence of money on our government. 9 out of 10 people believe that there is way too much corporate money in politics, and 8 out of 10 people think that the secret political spending is harmful for our democracy. So, what these and similar polls of citizens tell us is simple. Americans overwhelmingly support strong transparency and accountability reforms related to campaign finance. They want better access to this money in politics data so they can be better educated voters. So, how are we doing with transparency today? Now when you want to find out information on who's donating to members of Congress, here's just a part of what you have to do. So first, you have to find the Federal Election Commission website, which is the government repository of the information. There, you have to find a search bar, wade through pages and pages of results, navigate through tabs, and if you're lucky, find a tiny Excel button in the top right corner. Then you're able to access an Excel spreadsheet that looks like it was formatted in the mid-1990s, before I was even born. And this access to information is such a problem that several great organizations have expended a lot of effort to try and address this, like Open Secrets and the Sunlight Foundation. But they're both nonprofits that rely on the generosity of donors and volunteers to sift through this information and make it comprehensible. As you guys can probably tell, I too am very passionate about this issue. I spent my entire sophomore year last year creating this browser extension called Greenhouse. When you hover your mouse over the names of members of Congress on any web page, a pop-up box appears that lists their total contributions, small donor contributions, and top 10 industry donors. There's been a great response and outpouring. Greenhouse has been downloaded over 100,000 times, and there have been over 300,000 unique visitors to the website. There have been dozens of articles written about Greenhouse and the fight for campaign contribution transparency all around the world. This is amazing, but it shouldn't have to be this way. It shouldn't need to rest on the shoulders of a 16-year-old developer like me to inform the people about data the government is hiding. The government should be doing a much better job with this. After all, the government mandates the reporting of the data. The government collects the data, and deliberately or not, they've let the ball drop and made this data unusable to the average citizen. But is the government capable of doing this? The answer is yes, absolutely. It wouldn't be hard at all. And we know this because they've done something similar with data related to government expenditures. In 2006, Congress recognized the people's demand for easier access to government spending data. So they passed and the president signed the Federal Funding, Accountability, and Transparency Act, which in part mandated the creation of an easy-to-use website. The site is called usaspending.gov, and it does a great job organizing the spending data, providing easy-to-use tools like interactive charts and trends. And while there are all kinds of important ideas to address issues like the Supreme Court's decision on Citizens United, nobody knows when or if major campaign finance reform will happen. Providing greater clarity into these campaign contributions is something we can do today under the current system. This is what the people want. So I propose that we push for a law to do just this, a law that can be based off the 2006 law. We can call it the Federal Campaign Finance Transparency Act of 2015. The people overwhelmingly support it. The government has shown it can do it, so now it's time to push Congress and the administration to act on it. So I plan on starting a White House petition to call the FEC to make this data more accessible to me, to you, and to every American who votes. So this will be an important step towards fixing our democracy and restoring power to voters. The time is right, and I hope you all can join me. Let's make this happen. Thank you very much.